I'm Bruce Smith, and this is my story. I grew up in the mountains in western Pennsylvania, a very rural area. My father was a pipe fitter, worked in the oil refineries. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 younger sisters. Pretty happy life. It's not city life, so you kind of make things for yourself. I was 12 years old, my father was injured, tore his back up, and he ended up retiring disability. The benefit of that was he was home more often, but it certainly changed the income for our family, so it kind of put us into the low income category. Every Monday I would have to get the free lunch ticket at the school, and everybody sees you doing that. And every day when you get your lunch, you have a free lunch ticket. I learned the power of $1 very quickly when I was young. And I knew that I'd have to set my own goals. I would do odd jobs, earn my allowance, did a lot of things. But in school, I always applied myself, because my parents told me you can be anything you want to be if you put your mind to it and work hard. And I believed them, so I was academic, I was in sports, I was in a lot of the extracurricular activities. And the reward for that was that a lot of my teachers, my guidance counselor, they saw that I wanted to make as much as I could out of my life. And they became wonderful mentors and great advisors to me and opened up a lot of doors and opportunities that most kids didn't have. And one of the byproducts of having these mentors was they opened an incredible opportunity for me. Because we were low income, I qualified for a program called Upward Bound, where I got to actually spend my time on my summers after 9th grade on a college campus, taking college level courses, living there all summer, which was a great learning experience, but also I think a great maturing experience. And I did that for 3 summers before I graduated high school. One thing is my parents were always very supportive of me. I worked hard and they were very supportive of what I did, but they were also there if you kind of headed the wrong direction. One of the things was I started working on cars when I was 11 years old, love automobiles, still do. I wanted to go to WealthCare and be an auto mechanic, and my father said, no, don't do that. What you want to do is stick with academics. He said, I will buy you the tools, I'll buy you the books, teach yourself to be an auto mechanic, you can do that. And it was great advice. I stayed the course, and that really became a lot of really wonderful opportunities for that coming out of high school. I had excelled, I had done well, I had a couple of full scholarships to college, and I turned them down. I actually enlisted in the Navy. I wanted to be in the Navy nuclear power program and be on submarines. My father was a World War II veteran. He was not real happy that I was turning away college, but it was the toughest academic program that the military offered, and I really wanted the challenge, but I also wanted the discipline that went with it. That was a big game changer. I completed boot camp and nuclear power school, and the CEO called me in one day and asked me if I was stupid. And I said, no, I've done well in your school. And he said, well, you had full rides to scholarships to college. You didn't go. Why? I had spent 3 summers at college. I said, and I couldn't, maybe I'd have partied and failed out, so I said I needed more discipline. And he was amazed that I figured that out at 17. So the Navy gave me a scholarship, sent me to the University of South Carolina for engineering. Then I finished my nuclear power training and served on submarines in the Navy. Submarines are an all-volunteer force. They can't order you to a submarine. My wife was pregnant with my son, Bruce IV. He wasn't born before the submarine pulled out, so we were at 500 feet under the ocean, and I get a radio message, congratulations, you're a father. Bruce IV was born, everybody's doing well. And I saw him when he was 2.5 months old, because we're underwater for anywhere from 70 to 90 days at a time. Being on a submarine, first of all, you have a very small crew, so you have to be very efficient in what you do, and you look for every opportunity to be more efficient, to get more out of everything you do. But the biggest thing is risk, is that there are so many moving parts and so many things on a submarine that any one of them can send that submarine to the bottom of the ocean. And one thing we always say as submariners is that everybody comes up or nobody comes up. So I think I look at risk in a different way than most people do. Came out of the Navy, went to work at 3 Mile Island. I was there after the accident. I didn't cause that. I was there to clean it up. Wasn't a big fan of the commercial nuclear power field, but I was making a lot of money. I was making 6 figures. My wife was happy. I had 2 small kids, had my own airplane. I was flying back and forth to work. I realized that of all the things I knew in life, I knew how to be cost conscious, but I didn't understand how to grow money, how to create wealth, and how to really plan for the future. So it was one of those things that a friend of mine said, hey, if you got licensed, you could not pay fees to your Merrill Lynch broker. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. So I did that, started doing it part-time with my engineering buddies, and went home and told my wife, hey, I want to make a career change. She thought I was crazy. That was 36 years ago. And for the first 11 years, I was going up through the industry. I started as a broker and ended up being vice chairman of the company. But there was a gentleman who became a great mentor to me. He was a multimillionaire, he was a former Marine officer, and he taught me a lot about how important it is to maximize opportunities not only for my life, but for the lives of my clients. And it kind of gave me a different approach, that looking at things that people didn't know. He said being a mentor is being an educated advisor to people about life. And he said, you're talking about their life and changing their life financially, which I thought was really incredible. But Wall Street wasn't doing that. It was really about selling products, and I wasn't a big fan of that. So I was very fortunate. I became vice chairman of the company. I worked with wealthy people, and I learned that same things that my mentor was teaching me is exactly what I saw with these people. They manage their money differently. They have many more opportunities than the average consumer has. And quite frankly, it's easier the way they manage their money. The financial industry is much like what my Merrill Lynch broker told me years ago. He said, when you're at this level, we'll do this for you. At this level, we'll do this. And when you get to $1 million, we'll do all these things. And I said, well, that sounds like it's a good idea. Why don't we do that now? And he said, you don't have enough money. And right away, that moment, I was back in the free lunch line. It's like, oh, I get treated differently because I don't have enough money. Now, that's really how the financial industry works, is basically there's many more opportunities. The more money you have, the more opportunities they'll give to you. And the converse of that is when you work with wealthy people, the advice that I had given people as a broker for 11 years would basically be deemed as unacceptable to them. So why should it be acceptable to other people? And that was really the whole idea of WealthCare, is to bring that higher level of management and higher level of planning to people, especially using technology. Our firm went public. I had a nice windfall. And at that point, my poor wife, we're driving home from Manhattan, and I said, I'm not digging the Wall Street. I want to become more of a wealth advisor for people. And she's like, you're going to quit your job. And I'm like, well, we have the money to start our firm, so let's start our own firm. And that was the beginning of WealthCare in 1996. Hardest things is, especially when you're a hard charger, you excel. When I first started working with wealthy people, the very first couple of people that I worked with, they said, we don't deal with brokers, because what I was telling them is what I had told all my clients who had entrusted millions of dollars to me in my first 11 years of my career. And it's like, we don't deal with brokers, we deal with professional wealth managers. You have some great ideas. If you go down that path, we think we'd like to work with you. Basically, I thought I was going to be successful in that arena, and I got kind of kicked to the curb, if you will. But it was a great moment to realize that they expected more, they wanted more opportunities, they wanted more value, but in return they were able to share with me and teach me what they expected to have for the money management and what we would do to manage their money. And that's exactly what we built the foundation of our company on. Wow, if I could tell my 20-something. I would say get all you can get out of life, but I think I've done that. But I think the biggest thing is that the most powerful force on earth is knowledge. You can't do things just for financial reasons. It's got to be for self-worth also. And I think that Warren Buffett is a great guide. He has those same ideas. The first one is his 2 rules of money. First rule of money is don't lose money. Second rule is C rule number 1, which is a great one. His approach to risk management is dramatically different than Wall Street's. Try to get all the value you can for your people, for opportunities, never hold back, and always do better and always be learning. When we talk about the greatest lesson in life is, Andrew Carnegie said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And that was the watchword of my greatest mentor. He said, you have to believe it in your heart, you have to believe it in your head, and you have to work hard towards it. And he gave me a level of focus. Consumers are saying, not only do I not know something about that opportunity, I wouldn't even know how to ask the question to find it. So we've got to be educators and really true mentors and kind of pay it forward with our clients for everything that's benefited me in my life. My drive is, I thank the good Lord I have my health. I have a dream job. I love what I do. They always say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I believe that's true. I don't really have to retire at a specific age. I've been very blessed. I've been blessed with a wonderful wife of 42 years. My 2 sons are great. My one partner has been coming around my house since 4th grade. It's just everything has fallen into place because I think we've done the right things for people. I think that will continue till the day I die, but also the longevity of the company with our clients.